Hi, Hostler here. I just wanted to give you guys some hints as you work through these three assignments in Deltamath. And the first assignment is on graphing lines from equations. And notice that this first equation given to you is in slope-intercept form, so that y equals mx plus b form. And if you recall that m represents slope, and in this case, that slope is -half. And that b represents the y-intercept. And I always like to write my y-intercept as an ordered pair, reminding myself that the x value of a y-intercept is always 0. And it just goes to help whenever I am graphing this line. So the first thing I'm going to graph is that 0, -7. I'm going to use that slope then to plot another point. So -1/2 means that my line should be decreasing. I'm going to go down 1 to the right 2. I also could have gone up 1, but to the left 2, and that would have created a decreasing line as well. And then I'm going to hit submit answer. Yes, I'm sure. And I get a check mark, so I'm good to go. Okay, the second set of problems that you need to complete are called plot points in graph line with no table given. Notice that the equation is going to be in the form y equals mx plus b. Or, as I clicked through, you can see that that form changed. This looks pretty close to point slope form, except the y is isolated. In point slope form, the y is not totally isolated. But I do notice that this says to use technology to find the points and then graph the line. And what that means is I'm going to use my graphing calculator. Okay, and so as a reminder, I can use my graphing calculator to type in the function. I can take a look at the graph of that function, and I can take a look at a table for that function. Okay, so if you recall on my graphing calculator, I go to y equals button in that upper left corner, and then I type in the function that I see, 2 parentheses x, which is next to that alpha key, plus 2, end the parenthesis, minus, make sure you're using the subtraction key here, 5. All right, and then it says that I want to use technology to find points. So I'm going to go to the table to get some ordered pairs. I have to hit the second key, which is blue on my calculator. And I'm going to hit the graph button, that upper right corner. And notice that I can see some ordered pairs to plot. I have 0, -1. I have 1, 1. I have 2, 3. I have some options. When I go back here to my directions, the directions say to plot at least 2 points, okay? And so again, I'm going to go back to my calculator and say, okay, well, I can plot 0, -1, and 1, 1. So I'm going to plot 0, -1, and 1, 1. So it says plot at least 2 points, okay? So now I'm going to click Done Plotting Points. And now it says click and drag to draw the line. Make sure that you draw the graph to the edge of the grid on both sides. Sorry, that felt like that was covering it up, but I want to make sure I underline this. Make sure that you draw the graph to the edge of the grid on both sides, okay? Okay, so what that means is they have this little ruler that popped up. I'm going to start down here at the bottom. And I'm going to trace that ruler all the way up to the top, okay? And now that I stretched it all the way across, I'm going to hit Submit Answer. Yes, I'm sure. And I got a check mark. I promise you that if you do not extend that graph all the way across the grid, you will get an X. Even if you plotted correct points, even if you drew some of the line, because the direction says to extend all the way from edge to edge, you must do that or else you will not get it counted as correct. Okay, the last set of problems is plot points and graph the line. And first you have to solve for y. And there are a couple different versions this could look like. For example, you see I have negative 6x equals negative 2y plus 6. If I click new problem, you can see it looks a little different. I have 6y plus 4x equals negative 18. So you can see that as I click through new problem, there are different ways that this could be set up, okay? And so I'm just going to do one of those with you. And then you're just going to have to take this idea and use this idea as you complete your 3 problems on your own. All right, we'll stick with this one. Okay, so in order to graph, I need, it says that I could use technology, right? But I can't use technology unless I'm in the form where I have y equals, right? My calculator is set up to do y equals. And so as of right now, this y is not isolated, okay? And so that's going to be my job, is to isolate this y. The first thing that I have to get rid of is this 4x. And I'm going to do the opposite. That's a minus or a plus 4x. So I have to subtract 4x. And I'm going to subtract that 4x on both sides of that equal bar. Okay, that leaves me with a 5y on the left and a negative 10 minus 4x on the right side. I still need to get this y by itself, and right now it says 5 times y. So I'm going to divide both sides by by 5. When I do that, I'm dividing all parts. Every term gets divided by 5. Okay, 5 divided by 5 is 1y. Negative 10 divided by 5 is negative 2. And negative 4 divided by 5, well, that's negative 0.8. But when it comes to the slope, you could leave it in fraction form and write negative 4 over 5x. That's okay to keep it that way, okay? Now it says plot at least 2 points. Again, it says use technology. So you could try the strategy that I just did with the graphing calculator on the last group of problems. Or now that I have this y isolated, I could simply say, well, I know what the slope is. It's negative 4/5. And I know what the y-intercept is. It's 0, negative 2. So it's up to you. It says plot at least 2 points. So I can go either way. I can use the graphing calculator, or because I'm in y equals mx plus b form, I could just use the information that that equation gives me. A y-intercept of negative 2, a slope of negative 4 over 5. So I would have to count down 4 to the right 5, and that gives me a second point. Now it says plot at least 2 points. I did that. Just to let you know, I could start at that y-intercept of negative 2. I could count up 4, but then to the left 5, and that would give me another point. All right, I'm going to hit done plotting points. This ruler shows up, and again, it says draw the graph to the edge of the grid on both sides. So I'm going to start in this upper portion of my graph, and I'm going to extend that line all the way through the ruler, and I'm going to hit submit answer. Okay. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to email your teacher, and have a great weekend.